It was April 8th, 2017. My wife and I had just returned from a cruise we'd gone on to celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary, and neither of us was eager to return to the grind of our day-to-day life. So, as a form of procrastination, we decided to check out Honeymoon Island, which was right there in the Tampa, Florida area, after having just gotten off the cruise ship that morning. While there, we passed by this guy. He was sitting there on the boardwalk. Dark hair, no shirt, sunglasses on, smoking on his big cigar. To me, he looked like he could easily be the head of some Italian crime family, a mafia kingpin of sorts. As Julia and I passed by, he immediately caught my attention. I gave him my standard, "Hey, how's it going?" but kept walking. I was trying real hard to focus on just being with Julia and not worrying about photographing others too much while we were on vacation. Doing so often takes my attention off her and us. So I resisted the urge to stop right then, introduce myself, and tell him that I love photographing strangers and sharing their advice about life with others, and that I'd love to have the opportunity to share his with y'all. We were almost back to our car when I mentioned to Julia about him having caught my attention and really wanting to do a portrait of him for this project. Deep down, I think Julia is somewhat bothered by me almost constantly having my mind on work, even when I'm not working. Me photographing people, places, and things that we come across in our daily life. Me then processing those photos, and me writing the stories behind them. Stories like this. I think it does bother her at times, but I also think she accepts it as being part of who I am. I'm so appreciative of that and her patience with me because, well, sometimes I feel like it'd be easier to not breathe anymore than it'd be to pass by somebody like Sid here, and not ask to share a little of their story through a portrait I've shot of them. There are few things in life that make me happier than trying to help others understand those that are different than them better, through my photography and through my writing. I even feel it's my responsibility to, or at least try. Julia told me to go back, so without a moment's hesitation, I did. This is Sid, y'all. He didn't act like a mafia kingpin at all when I approached him. It was quite the opposite. He was really friendly and is clearly loved by his family that walked up just as I was finishing up my time with him. Sid is originally from New York, but left there back in the 60s. He lived in California for years after that, but has been a Safety Harbor, Florida resident for 25 years now. He once was in the business of selling promotional items, things like hats and shirts. But at 74, he is now retired and seems to be enjoying spending his days at the beach, smoking on his cigars, just as he was doing when we passed by him that day. I asked him what single bit of advice he'd want the viewers of this portrait to know about life would be. What he'd want all of you to know about life would be. And he said, "Never quit. You'll find out what you're really made of. Not when things are great, but when they're horrible. That's the test of real character."